Hi beautiful, welcome back to my channel. For today's video, I am going to just sit down and play with makeup. For the past couple of days, I haven't been feeling well. I've been so anxious and I don't even know the full reason why. And on top of that, hearing all this negative news does not really help. So I just wanted to step back, focus more on the things that I love, which is makeup. I do know that whenever I apply makeup, it makes me happy and also it takes my mind off things. And it's great for my mental health. Also, the reason why I really wanted to do a makeup get ready today, it's because I recently purchased a new Clean Beauty eyeshadow palette from Clean Beauty Collective, which is a New Zealand based website that sells clean beauty products ranging from skincare, fragrance, body and makeup. And this is from Aether Beauty. I was heavily influenced by Alexa Blake here on YouTube. She does a lot of different types of looks using Aether Beauty eyeshadow palettes. I do know from the top of my head, she created a more editorial look, she created a more natural look, as well as that glam chic type of look. So I was definitely curious. And the palette that I purchased is this one right here. It's the Rose Quartz Crystal Gemstone palette. This is what it looks like. It comes with 12 shades. And obviously the color story is very pastel, very neutral, and very day-to-day. It comes with ultra matte shades, shimmer shades, and duochrome shades, and also metallic. So the shades that really spark my attention is this triangle in the middle, where you have 2 metallic shades and 2 duochrome, and then you have 3 shimmers on the side and a couple of mattes, which for me, this is not the perfect eyeshadow palette, but thinking that this is from a clean beauty brand, I'm pretty happy with the selection of colors as well as the color story. So if this goes well, I might go ahead and purchase more types of eyeshadow from the brand. And also, I'll be using all the clean beauty products that I own. So without further ado, let's hop right into the video. I've already primed my face with a moisturizer. Also, I filled in my pores with the e.l.f. Putty primer. Filled in my brows with the Max brow pencil. I still don't know to this day the name of it, but I do actually love it because it has a angle tip that lets you create fine hair strokes. For foundation today, I have here the Juice Beauty Phyto Pigment Flawless Serum Foundation. So this foundation right here has got a water-based formula. This used to not match my skin tone, but then I did share with you on my latest video where I did a full face of Ilia Beauty, a hack where I added a little bit of food coloring onto my foundation to neutralize and balance out the color. That way it will match my golden undertone. So I actually did mix in food coloring in this bottle right here since it's a water-based formula. The only problem is that because the food coloring can stain and separate, you have to really shake the bottle to be able to get them to mix. And I do love to apply this with a beauty sponge. I know the sponge will soak up the product, but I like how it pushes the product in. So as you can see, it matches pretty well with my undertone. It's looking a little bit too yellow, but once we mix in our concealer and bronzer and powder, it will look like we don't have a foundation. I also love the finish that it gives because it looks like my skin is very plump and very hydrated. For concealer today, I am going to use the Perez Arnica concealer in Chai, and I'm just going to use a brush and dip into the pot. Just go over with a sponge just to really push in the product. And then to set my under eye a little bit, I'm going to use the Hourglass Mineral Veil Setting Powder. And I'm just going to use a teeny tiny bit of that just on the under eye because we're using a more cream product. I don't want it to crease straight away. And a light veil of powder is great because it's not gonna cake up the concealer, as well as it will just put enough powder for it to not move around. I am going to use this Aether Beauty Cheek / Lip Tint in the shade Terra. I absolutely love this product. I recently purchased this as well. It has more of a red tone brown undertone, which is perfect if you are going to create a smoky eye or a vampy lip. If you have darker skin tone, this could work as a blush for you as well. I like to put a little bit of product on my hand and then dip my stipple brush and stipple away. Now that's on the face, I like to just blend this cheek area a little bit so we don't have a harsh line. For a little bit of gloss, because I want the face to look a little bit more glowy, I'm going to use this Kosas Color and Light Cream in Tropical Equinox, and I'm going to use the highlighter from the palette. It gives you the most amazing highlight, and it blends right into the skin. I'm just gonna apply a little bit because we are going to go over it with a powder highlight. So then I'm going to pick up this blush right here with the same stipple brush that we used to bronze and pop a little bit of color onto the cheek. This is a little bit more muted and a little bit more on the peachy side, so it will lift our face a little bit. And then I'm going to go back to the Hourglass powder and set the rest of the face. I'm just gonna use a little bit of the powder because I want the skin to glow. This is from Aether Beauty, and this one is called Daylite Highlighting Powder, and this one is in the shade Decades. It's the soft gold shade. I like to do my highlight like this and then a little bit, because that's usually where I get sheen when my face gets hit by the light. Then a little bit on the nose. There's no mirror in this eyeshadow palette, and they actually explained why. The goal of the brand is to create good quality products as well as create a less wastage that will impact the environment. If you take out the pens from the eyeshadow palette, it's totally fine, it's recyclable, and that's the reason why they don't put the mirror, so it can totally be reused. So I'm going to start off with a shade right here called Heartstone. That's more of a mauve shade. The eyeshadow is pigmented and a little bit dusty on the pan, but oh my gosh, that is one beautiful shadow. Like, you wouldn't think that the eyeshadow will be this opaque. So this eyeshadow alone is great for an everyday look. Just pop a little bit of highlighter and you're good to go. Oh my gosh, that is so pretty, and I'm only using one shadow. I'm going to actually use a little bit of a pointier brush just to connect this, because for some reason I always have difficulty connecting this lower lash line to the upper lash line because I have like a dip in here. So then I am going to pick up this shade right here, which is more of a dark gray, and that one is called Sandstone. So it's more taupey gray, and I'm going to pop that on the outer V directly onto the crease. These shadows are very blendable as well. I also love the tones of the eyeshadow because it may look boring from looking at it on the pan, but when you actually apply it on the lids, it creates this different type of shade. That's why sometimes swatches on eyeshadow palettes are a little bit questionable, because the pigmentation that you get when you use the actual tool to blend the shadows will look totally different as opposed to dipping your finger straight away and swatching the shades. Totally transform this eye look into a whole nother level. And this is like the type of tones that I usually go for. I love cool tone eyeshadow. I feel like it complements my brown eyes really well. Maybe dip into this shade right here just to blend out the perimeter of the shadow, as well as blend the edges. It doesn't really affect me when eyeshadow palettes have fallouts because I feel like it's just normal. Now to choose the shimmer shades. I really wanted to use the 2 duochrome that they have here, so I have the one called Astarte, which is this shade right here. When you look at it from the pan, it's silver, but it has a little bit of like taupey purple hue to it. It's that shade right there. I'm not sure if you can see from the lights. And then the other shade is called Aura, which is this nice gold shade. Again, it reflects a little bit of like pink and silver glitter. It's that one right there. Oh my god, they are so pretty. And then we have this shade called Reawakening, and this is more of like a sheer pink eyeshadow with purple reflex to it. That's really pretty. And then the last one is called Divine, which is your, I would say this is a basic metallic shade. It's nothing too special. It's more of that champagne gold. I don't even know if you can see it on my hands, but yeah. So for this look, I think I'm going to use this purple shade right here. I'm just gonna use my finger and pat that onto the lid. It brings out purple and silver at the same time. And I'm going to mix a little bit of Reawakening on top of it. This shade is quite interesting because from the pan it looks pink, but if you actually tilt the palette against the light, it has a little bit of like peach and orange and a little bit of gold, which is pretty interesting. So I'm going to pop that on top of this eyeshadow to pull a little bit of the warmth. For the lower lash line, I am going to use that Astarte shade again because I really like that shade. And I'm going to put a little bit of Reawakening to match the top lid. And I'm going to pick up that pinky shade and pop that right in the middle of everything. I might actually go and use this white shimmer shade from the eyeshadow palette. Wow, it has more pink to it. I thought it would be like straight up white, but it has like a little bit of pink reflect. Then I'm going to go back to Astarte once again. Just pat a little bit more of that shade onto the lid. And then go back to a clean blender brush with a little bit of that dark gray shade just to blend everything. And that's my eyes. I'm so obsessed with this eye makeup look. I'll just quickly apply my mascara and eyeliner, and then we're going to move on to the lip. My blush is looking a little bit lost on my face, so I think I'm going to try and use the shade in here actually. So I'm going to use this shade, just a teeny tiny bit of that, and use it as a blush. I don't know how this will go, but it looked pretty on my face. I mean on my eyes. And that's actually nice. It has a mauvey tone to it, which I think goes well with the undertone of the eyes. Before we move on to the lips, I actually forgot to use a bronzer. So I'm going to use the Kosas The Sun Show bronzer in the shade medium. I like to use a dual fiber brush when applying this product because this product is so intense. And it will just add a nice glow onto the face. And lastly, for the lips, I am going to quickly line it with the Colourpop lip liner in the shade BFF, and I'll just blend that with my finger. For the lip gloss, I'm going to use the Kosas Wet Lip Oil in the shade Dip. Here is my final makeup look. My thoughts on the eyeshadow palette. I'm so obsessed with this. Like, even though I've only used this once, I could tell if an eyeshadow is great because If you look at it from the pan, it may look boring, but once you actually dive into the actual palette and play around with colors, it can give you a lot of different looks. You could even do a lot of trendy looks using this eyeshadow palette, which I am so happy about because it's kind of hard to find a really good eyeshadow palette from the clean beauty space. Usually their eyeshadows are very neutral, very faint, very shimmery, very lit from within type of look. This brand right here is breaking all the stigma when it comes to clean beauty products, because you could create a very glam makeup look using this eyeshadow palette. I cannot wait to try out different types from the brand. Please make sure to subscribe to my channel for more updates, like this video, and also let me know if you really enjoy my content because that will help me a lot. I will catch you on the next video. Bye.